So we're going to be watching the drama that happened between these two, the nail art babe and this brand, Mac Art Pro. The backstory here is that Mac Art reached out to the nail art babe with some kind of like PR, and she wasn't happy. Free stuff is always good. What's the issue?
Okay, I need my nail techs to tap in. We need to talk about something serious. PR is not payment. If a brand is wanting to send you PR, but they're attaching all kind of requirements for you to receive this PR, that's not PR and you're just working for free. I have turned down so many offers just like this one because you're basically asking me to work for free. And don't even discount yourself if you're a baby nail tech or a baby content creator, because you have value. If brands are already reaching out to you and you only have 1,000 followers, they see value in you and they're hoping that you don't see it. If you think you can't charge for these kinds of videos, you can. Or you can do what I do. I offer them two options, okay? Either you can send me the PR with no strings attached. That means I post it how I want it, when I want it, where I want it, use the hashtags I want, and I don't have to post a link, an affiliated link, okay? Or we can enter a partnership where I meet your requirements. I send the video in for review. I use the hashtags, I use the links, everything that you want to do, but you're going to pay me for that because free product is not payment. If we keep accepting crumbs, all we're ever going to get is crumbs. Your videos take time to create, take resources, take equipment, take creativity that honestly not everybody has. And you think that is worth a nail lamp, is worth a nail drill, is worth a couple polishes? No, 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 no. I really need y'all to realize your worth. I don't care your follower amount. I was denying these types of deals when I had 2,000 followers, okay? I guess what I'm trying to say is that I get it. Free stuff is so cool, especially nail goodies, because nails, you know, like it's just freaking fun to play with, okay? I know it's hard to come by, or it feels like it's hard to come by, but keep holding out. Keep setting the standard. I promise you, better deals are yet to come. I'll leave my rant right here. I could talk about this for ages.
Okay, so she was basically saying there, when a brand sends you something for free and then asks you to do loads and loads of content for that you should say no. Now, I do kind of agree. When a brand sends you PR, a box of products, they shouldn't expect you to then dedicate your time and effort into creating something with your time. It can take a whole day sometimes, and that's an unpaid working day. Especially this list. Let me just give an example. So what was given in that was 3 nail polishes and a strawberry scented something. But they wanted an Instagram reel or a carousel, 2 other videos. So that's 3 different videos now for 3 nail polishes. And the list went on. So that's a lot of expectations, right? And the reason that doesn't sit right with me specifically is because, and it also says it's for UGC purposes, which is user generated content. So that means that I could take that content as a brand, if I was a brand, and use it on my socials and use it everywhere else. So basically, I've given you some products. You know what? I think it's kind of, okay, let me explain the process, okay, of when you are paid for a job. And this is the same process that this company is asking for. So when you are paid to do work, say this brand sent me this cable management clips, right? I would have to make the content, show me maybe unboxing. Some people don't like unboxing. Using the product, putting the cables in, saying why it's good, giving some information on the brand. I would then have to edit that content, put that together, send it to the company to then approve the video. They would then come back to me with edits like, oh, can you remove this word? We don't like to say this. Can you add this? Can you add your code on the screen? Can you do all this? I would then have to edit it, then send it back and wait for approval. So that's a day of filming, a day of editing, and then possibly half a day of making edits, right? So that's a lot of time. That's what this brand wants. They want content that you're going to send backwards or forwards. Another example, one time a contact lens brand sent me 4 different pairs of contact lenses, different colors, for free. And I said, oh, you know what? And I even offered, I was like, yeah, I'll make a video with him. Like, why not? Because it'll be great to show on my makeup channel the eye makeup that goes with each eye color. So you have a green, blue, brown. What's the other eye color? Green, blue, brown, grey, you know? So I did it. It took a long time because you have to put the contact lens in, do an eye look, take it off, do another one, do another eye look, take it off, remove it. I sent it to them and they were like, can you make these changes? I was like, well, no, because then I'm going to have to do all my makeup again and do all this stuff. So you are asking for another full day of content, my work day. This is my job. I have other things to be doing. Although it's a very nice, easy job to have, when you're giving me a brief for something that's free, I shouldn't have to put that much work into it if you aren't giving me money for my time, right? And I know it can sound really selfish, like, oh, you were sent free products. Why would you not create content for the brand? It's because it's a lot of time. If they were like, take a picture and put in your story and say, great, one reel, can you just do a reel of showing the products? Fine. But to have to apply, remove, edit, cut down, send for feedback, it's a lot, right? And I don't think account size matters. It's more your retention, or how many people are actually watching your videos. The brand, I've never heard it from a brand point of view. So this is a video from the brand in response to that video.
So many offers just like this one.
I really contemplated whether or not it was a good idea for me to make this video, because I know that sometimes my mouth gets me in trouble, and for those that do watch my videos, you guys might already know this. I'm not the most like cotton candy type of founder. Like, I'm not the type of person that'd be like, oh yes, everybody has an opportunity. I am a businesswoman and I'm pretty straightforward, and unfortunately sometimes that means my mindset has to work a certain way in order for me to run this business. So if you are somebody that likes the whole like, brands should pay you because you bring so much value, I don't feel that this is going to be the right video for you to watch. I think you're just going to get really upset at me, and I don't want to ruin your day, so please just scroll by. This video is really
interesting. Let's see.
Here to bring as much transparency as possible so that you guys know exactly how a company like mine makes decisions on who we pay and who we don't. I do want to be very transparent, is that like, as much as I would love to be able to pay every single creator there is that comes my way, and as much as I would love to be able to gift PR to every single person with 100 followers, I really can't, and that's why my business is able to survive. For a little bit of context, e-commerce brands will generally spend about 15 to 25% of our revenue back into advertising. So you might ask yourself like, okay, well, so where the hell does the rest of the 75 go? Like, do you guys just like pocket that and like buy homes and buy cars? You actually don't. So the rest of that 75%, 30% of that goes into the cost of the product. And then you have another, let's say 25% that goes into paying for your employees. And then on top of that, you have another 15% that goes into paying for platform fees. And then you minus out another 16% for fulfillment fees. So a really healthy, like good, profitable beauty brand, if you're not doing a wholesale distribution, your net profit margin is roughly going to come out to about 5 to 6%, maybe at max 10% if you're really, really lucky. But actually, the larger you go, the smaller your percentage of net profit is going to be. So for brands like mine, where it's kind of in that like really awkward stage of growth, we're lucky if we even can cover our costs and break even. And I'll just be really transparent. I've been around now for about a year and a half-ish. I'm starting to get closer and closer to that 2-year mark. And this is why I've had so much pressure from my investors recently, is that they're asking me, why are you not profitable? Why are we losing, $10,000, $20,000 a month?
So that tells me, though, that as a brand owner, you know about time and money, right? The importance of money and your time.
To bring it back down to reality, is as much as I would love to be able to pay every single creator out there, I simply can't. So generally speaking, about 20 to maybe maximum 30% of whatever I'm spending on marketing costs or advertising costs, that goes into content creation. A lot of the girls that you guys do know are on contract with us. Some of these guys don't make a lot of money. I just want to be really honest. Like, if they're relying on my contracts to pay their bills, they can barely feed themselves with that. But for some of my girls that are actually doing such a wonderful job and they have enough scale to be able to reach that, when I had my accountants look through like, okay, on average, how much is each person making? Because that is my ultimate goal, is that for my high performers, they are able to get to a point where they can rely on this contract. For some of my high performers, they're making like $75,000 a year. It's a very full, livable contract for them. But does that mean that every single person is going to have the opportunity to do that? Oh, absolutely not. It takes time to get there. It's a common misconception that people think that like, oh yeah, like if I do one post for a brand, they're going to be making millions of dollars off of my one post. No, it's not. Because I can absolutely assure you, even including myself, I didn't actually start being able to see conversions and people buying products of ours until probably about 6 months into me posting for this brand. And for a lot of our content creators, it takes on average for them to get to about month 3 before they're actually able to convert their first order. So it is very much like a waiting game and like time and repetition. You just can't expect that your audience is going to see one video of you posting about a McCartPro product and then rush to McCartPro.com to buy our monomer. You have to pretty much tell them about 9 times over the course of 3 months for you to see that first conversion come through. And then you make your commission, and then obviously we do pay for the views because that helps you to support yourself while you're waiting waiting for that first conversion to come through. Our brand artist program has also changed a lot over the last year and a half. We started out by paying everybody exact same. Then we started seeing high performers, people who actually put in a lot of effort. And then we also see some people not being able to keep up with it because they have other priorities. So we really had to make a lot of adjustments to be able to help support the ones that can dedicate their time to doing this. Then we started to switch into more of a view-based CPM model where we're essentially paying them like the way that we pay our advertising. Then we started to realize there's some tail end brand artists who may not get a lot of views, but they're starting to get more and more conversion. So then we had to adjust our program again so that we can also compensate those types of creators who don't get a lot of views, but really great conversions. It is an ever evolving kind of process when a brand is setting up our influencer marketing strategy. But the reality is if you are somebody that believes from like day one, if somebody does contact you about promoting their products, you want to be able to receive fair compensation for it, McCart Pro may just not be the one for you because we can't sign that many contracts. We don't have the funding to be able to do that. I wish I did, but I don't. So I have to be very, very particular about who I bring onto our contract and how we kind of kickstart that relationship off.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. And it's great you explain it, but don't demand content then. You can give out PR, but don't demand content. That's fine. Your budget, get it. Absolutely understand. But don't then suggest that content should come along with a PR. Do you know the amount of people that will share your products if you just did a personalized note, a handwritten note? I personally really appreciate that as a content creator. A brand sends you a product, there's a handwritten note. Robert, we love your content. We love what you do. We especially love this about your content. Can't wait to see you using these products. The subtle drop of, can't wait to see what you do with these products. We know you'll love them. I'm going to use them. Doesn't mean I have to say I like them. I'm going to use them.
Is to basically look in the market and see, okay, who might be a potential. We reach out to them with some free products, see how they like the product first. Because audiences are also not stupid. Like you can tell when somebody's being paid for something versus when somebody is being actually like genuine about the product. So,
but if, again, I'm in the belief that you should only take adverts from people that you like. So when you're talking about a product that you like, you are genuinely happy that you have the brand have recognized you enough to be able to want to pay you to talk about their brand that you love, you know?
When someone actually loves the product and then posts about it, and then they are rewarded for actually, posting good content and then educating others about that product, your conversion rates from that is always going to be so much higher that it starts to make a lot more sense for me to pay those types of creators because it's a positive ROI. But when you're
and again, sorry to interrupt her so soon, that's the way a lot of brands are doing it now. So what used to happen is with PR or even paid adverts, let's do paid adverts, a brand would approach you and just like, do you want to do this? And you'd be like, yeah, great. Now brands look for more of, as is being said here, an authentic relationship with a brand. They can see how many times you have hashtagged that brand. Any content creators out there that are, smaller and wanting to achieve this, use the brands and tag the brands in your content because they can see how many times you have tagged them, use a hashtag, and they'll be like, this person genuinely loves our products. Let's reach out to them and pay them for an advert.
Receiving payment off the bat, your audience knows that you're being paid to say that something is good. They're not going to convert. So for me, even if I do sign one contract with you, I'm never going to repeat that contract. The reason is because you're not going to be able to convert consistently and you probably won't convert anything on that first post.
Well, then you're choosing the wrong people. Why are you not choosing people who genuinely really love your product, that they use it so often that that's a norm for their content creators for their audience to see that, oh yeah, they always talk about this brand. If I spoke about, what's the name? This fan from, there's no brand on it. Quote Fanland. If I spoke every week about Fanland, I was like, got another fan from Fanland, and then they entered into sponsorships with me and I did one a month, they'll be like, oh yeah, he always talks about Fanland.
I'm giving a little bit more transparency into how these things work. I know that it's not the most fluffy, nice thing to hear from a founder. Sometimes we want to hear what we want to hear, and we want founders to come out here and say, everybody gets to participate. Everybody can be part of that. And yes, charge the brands because they're making millions of dollars off of you. I wish I was somebody like that. I think because of that reason, my mouth does get me into trouble a lot of times. And I just really want to put it out there is at a core, I definitely agree with you. Content creators should be compensated. Just that not every single content creator can be compensated. It depends on the stage of the business, where we're all at, what our financial situation is, and what type of other creators we have in the pool. Because the ones that are making a very livable income on that, I want them to continue to stay on contract with us because they do place so much of the value to us.
That's
all
fine.
In all I'm saying is I think it really is something that you should decide for yourself where you want to see yourself as a content creator or nail technician or nail business owner. Is if you want to not close the door to be able to work with brands, I don't recommend to off the bat say like, okay, well, here's your two options. You can either pay me or you gift it to me and then I'll see, what I want to do. When you are putting yourself in that situation, my team's first instinct is going to be, okay, maybe there's a little bit of a misalignment here. Let's go ahead and move on to another creator. So totally up to you guys.
But at the same time, you need to know as a brand, and content creators talk. I've spoken to many people in the UK and the US about brands and the way these brands work with people. There are brands who have approached me to work with me and I've said no throughout my career because I've heard how their work ethic is with other content creators. So what you also have to bear in mind is that if you are asking people for quite a bit of content for minimal product, you're going to have a bad reputation among content creators. And if that is one of your forms of advertising, then that might not be so great. But listen, that's all fine. Absolutely, run your business how you want to. But that doesn't explain why you are also demanding content when you're not paying. Like, people aren't, like, people's content, you just said people's content isn't, it works two ways. Like, fine, that's how you run your business. Nothing against that. I mean, you're a small business. We understand it's a struggle, right? But at the same time, you can't expect handouts because you're a small business. Does that make sense? If you expect people to take time to create content that you can then reuse as advertising, which then takes away some of your advertising budget, right? Because you're getting free content from this UGC content. So why then would you need an advertising budget? I guess products, but that's not as big amount as the advertising budget. You know what I'm trying to say? But also at the same time, she says she has people under contract for her. Is it an affiliate link or something like that are making $75,000 a year? Some, not just one person, a few, and you're making profit from that. So you're making some money, right? And listen, if you don't want to pay creators to do ads, do the affiliate links, do the commission-based affiliation, because people are going to want to make money themselves. They're going to want to Fanland. I'm an affiliate for Fanland. I want to make my money from my affiliate this month. My goal is to make $1,000 with my Fanland affiliation. It's summer. Oh, I'm so happy I have my Fanland fan this summer. Use my link and my discount code down below. Talking about it every week, whatever. Bam, I'm making you money. You're making some money. Affiliate links. An affiliate program. Or you can even start an affiliate program. Listen, we have an affiliate program. We're going to send you this bulk of product. The requirements at the start is, with these products, a one-off video about why you like the brand and that you're so happy to be the affiliate with them. Because then it's still money, but the content creator has to work on making that money themselves. So you don't have to have any kind of contract. You don't have to, well, the affiliation contract, you don't have to have any expectations or anything like that. But choose the right people. I still don't really feel like she answered the question as to why she thinks it's okay for people to spend a lot of time doing something for no money. That's what I want to know. Of course, we got another reply from the nail art babe.
I genuinely can't tell which part of the video was more disappointing, the beginning or the end.
I'm not the most like cotton candy type of founder. Like, I'm not the type of person that'd be like, oh yes, everybody has an opportunity. So if you are somebody that likes the whole like, brands should pay you because, you bring so much value, I don't feel that this is going to be the right video for you to watch.
Wow. My video wasn't about calling out brands who can't afford to pay creators. That's not at all what I was saying. What I was talking about...
Sorry to interrupt you. And that's exactly what I think she did, what she's trying... Sorry.
...was a brand reaching out for the first time to send PR with strings attached. PR should...
Right. And that's why I didn't think the brand owner answered. Why do you think that's a good idea?
Be a starting point. It's a means to start a relationship, not define one. You send the product, the creator tries it out, and if they like it and if it aligns with their content, cool. Then it might grow from there. But if...
Right, and sorry to interrupt again. So you are sending out PR to a person who has never used your product before, but also asking for this content. What if they fucking hate your product? It's like, no, I don't want to do that. I've got your product. It's a ride. I actually don't like it. I don't want to talk about it. Then what? Now what? Is that a breach of contract? So then you want the people to lie?
If you're requesting specific content, setting deadlines, or directing how it should be posted, that is not PR, that is paid work. And I wasn't even going to get into this, but being offered acrylic when my entire platform is gel-based is a little disrespectful.
It shows, it gives when a brand messages me, right? It's like, we think you would love our new beachy wave hair curler. Do you think I would? Or we love your content, we'll love you to send you some stuff. Can you give us your address? I give her my address. Oh, sorry, we didn't know you were English. We only deliver to the US. Have you heard my voice? Even if you think I'm Australian, I don't have an American accent.
Made it pretty clear that my page wasn't.
Sorry, my point was, it's not personal. It's like you genuinely haven't looked into who you're sending your product to. And as a business move, I think that's a better thing to do.
Actually looked at before y'all reached out to me. I do honest reviews. That's what I'm known for, and that's what my audience expects of me. When I talk about products, people listen. I get messages and comments all the time of people saying they did or didn't buy something based off of what I have said. That trust is so valuable to me, and I protect it at all costs. I understand that small businesses can't pay for every single piece of content, and that is totally fair. But if it is unpaid, it needs to come with creative freedom. I even tell brands, if you want an ad with deliverables, I'm open to that. But if it's just PR, there cannot be any strings attached. And that is exactly what I said to you. And even then, if you do say you want a paid ad at that point, I would then say, please send me the products. If I like it, we can talk about this further. That being said, let's not pretend that this is a very small business type of situation here. You are backed by a bigger company, Macart. I also saw in the comments of your response video, you were asking people if they would be mad if you would change your name from Macart Pro to something different. And I get it, because people get Macart and Macart Pro confused all the time. I personally would be pretty upset if you would change your name, and I would expect other people to be upset too. You changing the name takes away the transparency that you are a sister brand, not just some random small brand. And that distinction matters. What I'm trying to do, especially for newer nail techs and creators, is help them understand the difference, because a lot of brands count on people not knowing. That's how creators end up producing free ads without even realizing it. In your video, you said PR is how you kickstart potential partnerships. You just send it and see if someone likes it. But that isn't how our first interaction went. You asked for deliverables up front. So which is it? You're discouraging nail techs from starting relationships the way I suggest, which is with boundaries and transparency.
I think it really is something that you should decide for yourself where you want to see yourself as a content creator or nail technician or nail business owner. Is if you want to not close the door to be able to work with brands, I don't recommend to off the bat say like, okay, well, here's your two options. You can either pay me or you gift it to me and then I'll see, what I want to do. When you are putting yourself in that situation, my team's first instinct is going to be, okay, maybe there's a little bit of a misalignment here. Let's go ahead and move on to another creator.
That's a red flag. That tells me you might be more interested in what you can get from them, not how you can support them. If you're a nail tech or a small creator that is still watching, this is probably the single most important piece of advice that I can give you. Knowing your worth and not doing free work shouldn't close the door with brands. And if it does, that's not a door I want to walk through anyway. Okay, bye.
It's such a good point. The brand owner spoke so much about business costs and all this kind of stuff. And like, we can't people. Content creators have business costs too. I have 10 lights on in this room at the moment. 10 lights. I have 2 computers running. I have 2 microphones. Listen, I have a fan. I have solar panels. So, it's not too bad. But I have business costs. I'm using the internet. Content creators have business costs too. It isn't completely free to make our content. Listen, I do have to say something. I do think there is this I don't work for free kind of ideal with a younger crowd, with younger people. Through my career growing up, I did a lot of work for free. I worked for free with photographers. I worked for free with stylists, models. I assisted people for free because I wanted to get my name out there and I wanted to get experience. That was up to me. That was my decision. That's my choice. There are some brands where sometimes I will do a lower rate because I want a relationship with a brand, and I prefer to have a good relationship with a brand than make a shitload of money and then never work with them. You know what I mean? I want that consistency. I want that longevity, and I want to be able to have this relationship with a brand where I feel like, not friends, because we know that's not a thing, but I feel like we know each other as a brand and as content creator. I don't just want new brand. And I hope that any ads that are on this channel, any ads that are on my main channel, on my social medias, I hope that the brands I work with feel like they can reach out to me at any point and we can work together. But it doesn't mean you have to diddle yourself. So what I'm saying is basically, depending on your work ethic and the vibes you kind of get from the brand, yes, maybe do some free work if you want that relationship with the brand. But does that mean they're going to keep coming back and saying, oh, you worked for free last time, why won't you do it again? So it's a really difficult balance there that you have to try and achieve. But I'm not saying here I understand both sides. What's her name? Nail Babe. The babe. I'm on the babe's side here. And again, on the whole personal thing, to send someone PR who doesn't even work with the kind of products that you sell, just kind of gives off a vibe that somebody typed in #nails into Instagram or TikTok, saw who had the most views, the most followers, or maybe they have like 10,000 followers, but they have loads of views, and was like, yeah, they'll do, let's email them, instead of looking through their content. And if your business means that much, right? And you know that, business means that much to people, why aren't you just taking a couple of seconds, couple of minutes, just to flip through some of their videos? This is how huge fuck up happens, like with Elf. A creator who cares about their community is going to vet the brands they work with, test them, question them. With beauty products, it can be a little bit more, it's an instant reaction. Like, is this blush good? Yes or no, it's on my face, this is how it looks. Skincare takes a little bit more time. Nails can perhaps takes a little more time. You want to use them in different ways. You want to use them with other products. So there definitely is a period of time you're going to need to think about, do I actually like this product? Do I like this brand? And like you said in this video here, one of my main things on my beauty channel is to not suck the assholes off brands and give it to them straight, give it to my audience straight. Not in a rude way, just like we do here. We talk very openly and my opinions about stuff. But that's what people want. That's what people respect. And that's how you build longer lasting relationships with brands who genuinely want honest opinions. And it takes it back to that personalization as, again, sending these like soulless copy and paste like scripts into their inbox to a content creator who is watched and appreciated by thousands and thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of people. It's kind of a bit like, come on, why have you approached them? Why have you done? It's the same with any brand. It's not just influencers. If I, had a modeling agency and I wanted to sign a model to my books, why? What of their past work do I really like? What do I love about the way they work, their work ethic? It's just a little bit more, I don't know, personal, making them feel a bit more appreciated. And approaching a content creator with a brand they've never heard of or products they've never used and just expect them to make content is a little bit crazy. I wouldn't put it past some content creators, we all know, but not everyone's the same. So they are a sister brand, Macart Pro. They're going with like a small business vibe for professionals, but it's a sister brand of a bigger brand.
I saw the video that you posted up in response to my video in response to you. And first off is, I just want to tell you, I actually really enjoyed this conversation. I think this is such a wonderful opportunity for creators like you and also brands like me to bring things to the table and have that very open conversation. If conversations like this didn't exist on social media, people like the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders could still be making minimum wage till this day or nothing at all even. There's so many artisans and athletes out there, people in these types of industries that oftentimes get overlooked and taken advantage of. And I think it's conversations like this that makes the world reflect on ourselves and say, hey, is this really the right way for us to treat people in this industry? Before I get into the main topic about how, Macart Pro is just out there like sending a list of damn requirements that just seem really ridiculous without paying creators and trying to say that it's a PR gifting. Before we get into that, I do want to first extend my apologies to you. Us even offering acrylic, and I do agree, not only is it a little bit disrespectful, it's pretty damn disrespectful on our end. And I'll be honest, I'm actually pretty embarrassed to know that that's something that came from my company. But I also can't blame the person who actually sent that message out to you. It's not her fault that she doesn't come from the nail industry and she's still in the process of learning things. I think it's more that my fault that
If you hire somebody for your PR, for your social media, and your company is specific to a kind of product, a kind of industry, they're going to need some knowledge. I don't work in nails and I know about acrylic and whatever gels. Like I know there's a difference. And maybe it's because I'm used to the beauty industry. There's different tools that people like. Who have you hired? Some 12-year-old?
I didn't prepare her well enough for her before she goes out there and starts seeking creators. Professional nails is very difficult for a non-industry person to understand. And there have been a lot of releases in the last 6 months that she's had to promote that she's still trying to figure out what the hell is she promoting in all these different types of products.
Well, that's crazy, because how do they not know about your products? Again, this is a very, like, a big part of your business that you have overlooked again. That's not the right person for the job. Sorry, I don't wish anyone to get fired or anything like that, but hire someone who knows something.
So back to our original topic about brands reaching out to creators and then having a list of requirements and then phrasing it as free PR gifting. I totally understand where you're coming from. Is like, hey, if you're not paying me, then that means that technically you're gifting it. And if you're gifting it, why are you expecting all these different deliverables?
That's
so
the
I'll
question.
share from the brand's perspective why it is that we choose to do this. I think if you are a brand that wants to be able to leverage, hundreds of creators to help you create free content, free PR gifting in exchange is a wonderful way for you.
Wait. So the plan is to gift hundreds of content creators and get them to make hundreds of pieces of content in exchange? Let me rewind that. Did I hear that wrong?
I think if you are a brand that wants to be able to leverage, hundreds of creators to help you create free content, free PR gifting in exchange is a wonderful way for you to be able to lower your marketing costs. What's great about doing free PR gifting is that you essentially aren't paying anybody. So you're just getting free content at that point. But the downside of that is that you have a very short-term cycle of relationship with your creators. So I've been doing this business now for about a year and a half-ish, and based on the year and a half that I've spent at Macart Pro, one of the biggest data points that we've collected is when a creator is unpaid, the average life cycle of them continuing to engage with your brand is less than 28 days. The only way that you can really extend the life cycle of a creator and your relationship with them is to make sure that they're actually on contract and earning something, maybe not right off the bat straight away.
I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Sorry, I need to go back and listen, because okay, so she's saying that no, I've lost it already. The only way that you can really extend the life cycle of a creator and your relationship with them is to make sure that they're actually on contract and earning something, maybe not right off the bat straight away livable wage, but it has to be at some point enough for them to make it worth it. Once they're on contract, it extends the life cycle of that relationship. That gives them the opportunity for them to stay around long enough for them to start seeing conversions and also monetize off of their contract. The challenge with a traditional influencer marketing strategy is not who you choose to put on the program, but once they onboard onto their contract. Most creators have a very, very difficult time getting onto a contract. They're super excited the day they sign their contract until it's the day for them to start delivering their first piece of content. When you're on a paid contract, I think it seems from the outside like, oh my gosh, like I get paid to do something. But on the inside, it's pretty damn annoying. So many different rules. What is allowed by the law, all the way to advertisable content versus non-advertisable content. Wait, no, it's not that difficult. You send a brief to, it's really not that difficult. You send a brief, which has key points you have to hit, things you don't want to be hit. You can even give instructions. I don't want to see logos on your clothes. I want the background to be clear. Because you're being paid, right? So you put that extra effort in. It's not that difficult. The legal words you use, yes, absolutely. But again, this should be off the top of your head. You know this. You're the business. You're the brand. It's really not that difficult.
Performance of that advertisement. And then don't even get me started on the copyrights. It's a pain in the ass for a creator who is new to content creation for business purposes. And it's also a pain for the teams that are actually sponsoring the creator. So during the time that when we start evaluating creators, which is essentially for us, when we do our first round of PR gifting and we're trying to seek who makes sense for these contracts, we're essentially looking at who's able to take feedback and who's open to take conversation, because we know going into their first 3 months of their contract, they're going to get super frustrated at us already. What's been great about this method so far is once we started putting...
So there's been brands I work with who are frustrating because they give you a brief, then you send exactly back what they asked for, and they're like, oh no, we've changed our mind to this. As long as you, as a business, give your expectations about what you want in your ads, it shouldn't be that difficult. It should not be that difficult. I don't know why she's making it out like, she's almost saying like, oh, as a content creator, you don't want to do it. It's too complicated. It's really not. I've been doing it for many years now. It's not.
Things right off the bat onto the table and explaining from people from day one that like, look, working with us is not going to be pretty. You're not going to have freedom. This is
But why isn't it? Because you should be so organized in what you expect from, or so precise in what you expect from your content creators, that it should be easy. That's on you. That's on you. And if you make it frustrating for the people that work with you, you're going to get a bad reputation among the people in the nail industry who make content for you. And you're going to have people not want to work with you. Why is it frustrating to work with you? Because it shouldn't be. Why is it frustrating to work with
the reality of doing a commercialized contract, you actually end up filtering out naturally the people that don't really want to sacrifice their creative freedom, but they think they want the idea of a contract. By doing this, the people that end up actually taking the contracts with us, they're actually genuinely open to going back and forth with us about communication until they are familiar with what the contract actually needs them to do. I think it takes away a lot of the bitterness that can come from a relationship like this, because from day one, even before being paid and locked into a 3-month contract, they know that working with McCart Pro means I have to be able to fulfill certain obligations. I have deadlines. I have rules and restrictions around what kind of music I can do, all the way to the tone and the messaging. I think it's oftentimes very misleading for a new creator who hasn't necessarily been on contract with another brand or even us before. When they first enter that relationship, you're essentially doing it on like the best of the terms, which is almost like in that dating stage, you know, like I'm super clean and like I'm super nice when I'm like having a crush on somebody, but then the minute I get into that relationship where like I'm married to that person, I'm like messy and I have like a bunch of demands. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like telling you from day one that like, hey, this is what it means to be on contract with McCart Pro. It's not going to be pretty, and you have to be very open to communication, because
That's not normal. That's not normal. Why is it difficult to work with you? What is it about working with you that's difficult? It's going to be messy. It's not going to be pretty. Why? Demanding what kind of, not even demanding, but suggesting that certain music shouldn't be used, normal. Saying what you saying what your video should and shouldn't look like, normal. Telling you what should be in the background, normal. All of this stuff is normal. Why are you saying that your content creators, when they start working with you, it's going to be great at the beginning, but then it's going to get worse? If your contract and your brief is clear, it shouldn't get worse and worse and worse. Your content creators should start to realize what it is you want, what you expect, but it should be clear from the beginning. This is so weird, and this is not normal for working with any brand.
No, it's going to be frustrating. So once again, I do agree with where you're coming from, and I do apologize that my team made you disrespected. Like, they don't even go and watch your videos before trying to figure out what kind of product they should be promoting you with. I think this is an area that I take full accountability for, to be able to improve that within my team, and it has to be done. But I think what I want to add into this conversation from a brand's perspective, and I'm sure many brands out there share the same sentiment, is that there's so many people that love the idea of being paid for a contract, but when they are actually on that contract, it's not nice and it's not pretty, and people feel disappointed. And we want to...
Why? You're on a contract and you get paid. What is the disappointment? What is the disappointment? If you are saying that you are a horrible brand to work with, that's on you. I do the same thing. Well, of course, different things, but I work the same way for every brand. I follow their brief, I deliver the content, I take their feedback, I change the content, we post. Why are you so horrible to work with as a brand that it is disappointing for people? And I don't think a lot of brands will agree with you. I don't think a lot of brands will agree with you. That's really weird, actually. Sorry, she was just saying a whole load of stuff. That's really fucking strange. This is weird. It's so weird. I really, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but what I got from that was saying, like, you think you want a contract, but when you do, it's not pretty, we're not easy to work with, and that's it. But then, so you're saying they're not easy to work with, even when they're being paid. So when you're not being paid, but you still have deliverables from your free PR that you're not being paid to use, are you still that difficult to work with? I'm sorry, that's crazy. That's probably one of the worst responses, and probably one of the most bullshittiest responses I think I've ever heard in my life. That was such bullshit. Like, unless I've completely missed the point, that was the most... Imagine, okay, so this is how I took it. I'm me, I'm a brand, and I'm hiring you as my assistant, but I want you to work for free, 1 day a week. So listen, you want to have a contract with me as my assistant, but what you don't realize is that I'm not good to work with. I'm quite demanding. I'm quite bossy. It's not pretty. It gets pretty messy. You think you want a contract. You think you want to be paid, but really you don't understand what it takes to have a paid contract with me. And, you know, it might start out great. If you have a paid contract, it's going to start out good, but it is going to get worse. So actually, I'd rather you just did the work for free. So the same thing is going to happen, but you're working for free. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Please, if you can explain what this person is talking about, let me know. You know, it's so strange because she doesn't seem malicious in any way, but I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. Like, I know what she's talking about, but I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Anyway, let me know your opinions down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please do consider subscribing, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.